Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we're in a shop. We'll be outside very shortly working on the truck. And what we're doing today is actually adding a set of footwell lights. Basically, since the mid GMT 800 refresh, I think that was like 2003, GM has not included footwell lights on their Silverado and Sierras. I don't know why they do this, but honestly guys, this should be a pretty simple install. All that we need really is a pin from GM. It's part number 19370-262. You need a set of lights, you need a ground, and your power is going to come from that pin number that we just showed you. And for the lights, I just went to AutoZone and picked up a real small set of cheap LEDs. I think these were like 20 bucks. But yeah, you guys can see these have a battery in it. But basically what we're going to be doing is taking the battery out of here, wiring it to the truck, adding a power and ground, and that's going to be about it. Now the ground will be over on the passenger side of the interior. It's going to be the same ground that we used for the stereo install, so the GM kicker subwoofer kit. We're going to use that same exact grounding point because that's the best one that I'm aware of. And then the power, like I said, will be coming from that pin, and that pin will be plugged into the black connector on the BCM. So it's going to be X1 is the connector name itself. It's going to be the first pin. I'll include all this information in a link down below to a thread I found. There was a guy named Cluemaster on here, and it was a thread for the 2019 through the 21 trucks, but he came in and gave the information that was necessary for the 22 plus footwell lights to be installed. If Cluemaster hadn't posted that, we would not be having this information. So yeah, so shout out to that guy. We've got the pin, we've got some lights, we got to get a ground, and it should be pretty simple. So I'm going to tear this AutoZone set of lights apart and see what we got to do to modify it. All right, guys, I took apart the little display case. I cut the batteries out of it, as you guys can see right there. And basically you got red is positive, black is negative, red is positive, black is negative. And over here is our white pin. We're going to have to tie the two red wires to this white pin. That'll be our power source. These are the lights themselves. And then the black, like I said earlier, we're going to have to run a cable from here over the passenger side of the truck and tie that into the ground. So I think you can go ahead and kind of primarily mock up the wiring that we're going to need. I've got red and black. It's actually going to be a little bit thicker than this, which is fine. And we'll get this mocked up. All right, guys, I've pretty much completed the first half of the harness, and that is going to be the power adapter going, this white pin. That'll go into the BCM. Tie that into the red wire. I tie that into the first light, and then I pretty much cut this to 6 feet. You know, obviously I know we're not going to use that much, but what we're going to have to do is tie this black wire, that's the ground, we're going to tie that into the other light, and then at the end of this, we're going to have to add a ring terminal to tie that into that ground over by the passenger side footwell, and then the red wire, all we're going to have to do with this is tie it into the red of the light, and we're good to go. So, again, kind of make a 3-point connection on the bottom here. So that's going to be the light and our terminal. And then over here, this red wire, just a single red connection to the other light. And the other thing is I am using heat shrink as well as a solder gun. So everything's going to be waterproof. Everything will be good to go. And, oh, and it's like 40 degrees outside. So I'm going to do as much of this in the shop as I can, and I don't want to be on my back trying to solder things. So I'm going to make this fully removable. You just have to take the kick panel off on the ground. You have to unplug it from the pin on that dashboard side. We'll be good to go. All right, guys, we have finished the harness. See, we've got the two lights here. One end's going to have our power. This is going to the BCM like we've mentioned. The other end is your ground. So, you know, you tie your black to black, ground to ground, tie your power to power, and that's pretty much it. All right, guys, you can see the LED light we have stuck up here. It's just held on with 3M tape. If we need to mount it better, we will, but it grounds down right here. Like I said, I just ran the wire up to the light, past the center console in the back behind there. All right, guys, so we're looking for the K9 connection body control module X1. If you guys can see, number 1 is going to have 4 pins to the right. All right, pin number 2 is blue and green. So if we look on here, pin number 2 is blue and green. I have pulled this black connector out of the BCM. So the BCM is the second box on the left. So furthest to the driver's side. The black connector, the one we're looking for, was all the way up forward next to the firewall. So this, honestly, guys, was kind of a pain in the butt to pull off. But if you guys look on here, they basically split it out 3 on the left, 4 on the right. That fourth one on the right, that's one we want to use. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there's no pin in there. And if you guys can see that wire right there, it's blue and green. We want to go to the left of that one. So our white wire is going to plug into that first pin to the left of the blue and green wire on pin 2 of the black connector. I know it sounds like a lot, but honestly, guys, black connector, the one you want to go to the side with the 4 pins, it's going to be the first one in the upper right corner of, if you're looking at it this way. The connector next to it is going to be blue and green. All right, guys, we've got our white line right here. That's the pin that we just added. You guys might be able to see that we added it, but how I did that was this little kind of white plastic tab. I just put my thumbnail on this side and then on the right side of it as well. That popped down. I think that must loosen the locking mechanism that's inside here. Popped that down, pushed the pin in, popped it back in place, locked it back down, and our pin is now in. So I'm gonna have to fight this to get back into the VCM, then we should be ready to test the lights. All right, guys, so I got the light installed. You see this plastic pedal still coming down. Put it right there. It is double-sided tape. Ran the power wire up over the HVAC. Here's the BCM wire. I will eventually cover this up with black tape. For right now, you know, we're just in the mock-up phase. But also, I did get that BCM connector back plugged in. And guys, this looks tight. It's not. It's loose. All right, guys, so we did get it to work. You guys can see the light glowing. Now that looks like it's flickering a little bit. It is not in real life. That's just the refresh rate on the camera. And yeah, so that is the driver's side. Let's go over to the passenger. And over here on the passenger side, same thing. So we got some lights. Obviously this is kind of narrow and directed during the day, but I think at night this will fill up a lot more of the cabin. So there you go. There is a set of comfort lights, footwell lights, whatever you want to call it. We'll pick this up at night. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it for the footwell lighting project on the ZR2. Now, guys, for such a simple mod, I really wish that they had just spent the extra $5 probably what it cost them to put these in. I don't know why they've been cheap. You know, I really liked having them on my GMT 800 to my Duramax. I actually have a video up above for that because we've done this before. And yeah, so with, I think I have maybe $25, maybe $30 with the pin and the lights. Now, I already had all the electrical, the wiring, the heat shrink tubing, the solder. I had all that, so I don't have any cost really there. But, you know, probably less than 40 bucks probably was what it would cost you total to do this. It was a pretty simple project. And here are some night shots like I was promising you. As you guys could see, you know, both footwells are lit up real well. You know, the driver's side, the light is a little bit behind the pedals, but there's really no good access points because that fuse box is right there. And the passenger side is lit really well too. So, but yeah, that's it for this project. And so yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you guys wanna see more updates on the truck, hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. If you guys want to help support the channel, I will drop links and part numbers to everything that we use down below. Also, include a link to the build thread I was telling you about where I found this information. Give you the part number for that pin and all that. That'll all be down below. And also make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. Any contribution you guys can make over there goes right back into the channel, the truck, the project, the shops, all that stuff. So thanks, guys. Have a great one.